This is Soni Aralynn, and you are now listening to the Anime Assembled podcast with your host, Indy and John Forsaken Powers. This is Soni.
Yo. Pasow. What's going on? It's your hostess with the mostest, Indy Uchiha, my boy, John Forsaken Powers. What's cracking, my mans?
What's up, brother? What's up?
And if you guys haven't figured it out by now, we are back with another episode of Anime Assembled, sponsored by, empowered by, brought to you by A+ Opinions. We want to thank them for giving us a home to bring you all your anime and manga news. Shots out to the incredible Soni Aralynn for the voiceover on our intro. We also want to thank Il Brown for the outro music that he gave us. That's really dope. Shouts out to them guys. Il Brown works with a company we've talked about before here on Anime Assembled.
We have
Caesar, and man, they have some really big stuff coming, and I really thank him for that outro theme. But how have you been, my mans?
Dude, I've been good. You know, same old. The anime grind, work, everything in between. You know how it is.
That's what I'm talking about. You know how we do. When we come in here, the first thing we do is we talk about the anime that we have currently been watching.
Yes.
So, what have you been watching, my guy?
You name it, I probably am. But right now, the biggest one that I'm actually like really hyped for. I shouldn't say the biggest one, but like one of the biggest ones. I actually made a post about it on the Anime Assembled Instagram. I've posted about it a couple times as of late. I'm a big fan of like the genre type of it. Moriarty the Patriot, or Yukoku no Moriarty. I made a post about it. The first time I was kind of giving a little synopsis. You know, it's about James Moriarty, not William Shakespeare, Sherlock Holmes, that whole crime drama story, but there's a little twist to it to where Moriarty is actually the protagonist instead of the antagonist, because normally Sherlock is the protagonist of that. So, and of course, for some people, the protagonist doesn't necessarily mean the good guy, or, that just means the main character. And so it's interesting to see that flip side of the story, because we normally only see it from Sherlock's perspective. So I think this is really cool. They actually kind of dive a little deeper into the lore and into the drama of, the story. So I thought that, like, man, this is getting good. And it's on season 2 as well. So it's popping off, bro. And I'm so geeked. I can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah, you actually have me interested in checking that out, but I'm gonna finish watching what I'm watching now before I get into it, and I'm very close to being done. By the time I got to episode, I'm gonna say 15 of season 1, it actually started getting interesting, and I couldn't pull myself away from it. Season 2 was very hard to find, very hard to find.
Yes, it is.
But I was able to check that out. Even so, the 4 episode epilogue they have leading.
The OVA thing.
The OVA they had leading to the Holy War was very interesting, but missing. You needed that Camelot in between, because it's like they were leaving for Camelot, and all of a sudden they're back and they're talking about Camelot, because it jumps from season 1 to season 3. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh yeah.
Very interesting anime. Not something I would watch with young kids.
No.
Along with a lot of different anime I wouldn't watch with young kids. But entertaining to a point where this is really corny. It's an extremely corny anime. Yes. But it is literally nonstop action. There isn't an episode where there isn't some type of fight or battle, or there's very little setup. And even when they go through the setups for the backstory and stuff like that, there's a lot of action and stuff in the setups for the backstory. And I'm 5 episodes out from being done. 5-6 episodes out from being done with season 3. I don't know if season 4 was up there. I think I can't remember.
Season 4 is up on, I believe, Netflix.
Okay, so yeah, I'm watching on Netflix, so I'm going into season 4 after this, so I'm not as close to being done as I thought I was.
Yeah, and then season 5 is currently airing, and I believe season 5 comes out on Netflix in July or maybe October. They put an announcement out, I believe, for season 5 coming to Netflix.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm gonna have to check out. It's pretty interesting. I like the lore. I've always loved lore that's dealt with I guess the holy. You know what I'm saying? It's dealt with biblical different things and lore and stuff like that, because I love the whole the demons of the 10 commandments. I love the whole thing about the holy knights. I think that's one of the reasons why I get into Assassin's Creed so much. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the Templars and the Assassins. It's just they're interesting stories. I hope nobody gets mad at me calling those stories, but as far as I'm concerned, they're in a book, you read them, they're stories. But yeah, it's overhyped. I am gonna say it's overhyped.
That's fair.
I was expecting more from everything that everybody has been telling me about this anime. Oh my god, these characters. So no, the slime is still more OP than everybody in this show.
Easily.
The only one that could probably compete with the slime, I'm gonna honestly say, is Bond, but Bond the Foxen. But the slime probably has some type of ability that won't let Bond steal half of his power. So
even if he stole half of his power, he'd still probably be strong enough to still beat him.
The slime is just OP intelligent. But Bond has one of the most intriguing backstories from a side character I've watched in a really, really long time. Through everything he's been through, especially with the episodes that I just finished watching, dealing with his father and everything like that. It is crazy. The stuff this gentleman goes through, and to be totally honest with you, side character, he goes into the side character pot like Sasuke and like Vegeta, because they're driving.
They're like main side characters.
Like the story could honestly be about these characters, and I understand why it's about Meliodas and everything that's going on with him. I understand that, but this could easily be Bond overcoming everything, and it'd be just as interesting of a story, and you traveling with him for all the time he was gone, and then meeting back up with the 7 deadly sins. And that's one thing I want to give to each individual of these characters, is that each one of these, they could have had like a Marvel-esque cinematic universe with the 7 deadly sins, where you could have went and followed each individual sin. And had them merge later into this team, and it'd have been just as good, because man, Merlin being the gender flip, when the first time saw it, I was like, that's Morgan. No, it's Merlin. Dope. Merlin is dope.
Easily, dude.
The Fairy King. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
King is. The way King is written is stupid, but it's very good stupid. The relationship between him, Bond, Elaine, his sister, all these women that have these affections for these dudes, that put their emotions aside to help these dudes, the people that they're in love with, and they grow. I mean, it is very, very interesting, and I'm really, really digging it. And anybody who has checked that out, who has Netflix, and you're looking for something to watch, it is dubbed. I actually get to the point where I watch dubbed anime with subtitles, and these subtitles don't match what they're saying at all. And I find it the most hilarious thing on the planet, because like the actual translation of what they're saying, it'll be like 14 words. but on the out of the screen, the audio only says a 5-word sentence, and you'd be like, you missed all
hell?
of that subtext. Like,
right.
Like what you said explained nothing. What I'm reading explains everything. So it's interesting that that's the route that they took. So you could tell that like they dubbed like the subtitle, like they dubbed it after it got subtitled, you know, after it was subbed, and they didn't pay attention to what any of the subs said. They just wrote their own script.
They just said screw it. All right, we in this.
Yeah. But it's definitely something, if you guys haven't checked out, you should.
True. Escanor alone, dude. Yeah. The Lion Sin of Pride. That's reason alone to go check out that show.
Yeah.
I love that dude.
Yeah, his power level was like 32,000 or so. And when they start, their power levels are probably the most accurate power levels ever. Because like when you watch different stuff, like you watch Dragon Ball, people jump from like
2 to
10,000 to 100 million to different things like that. These dudes went and trained for like a week straight. Started off at like 1,300. By the time they were done training, they were like 2,300, and they were excited. Like, yes!
Right. Like, it's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. Melodonus went from like, what was it, like 3,300 to like 32,000 when he got all his power back. And they already had a sin that was over 30,000 with the Lion Sin.
Yeah, and it's even better because depending on the time of day it is, you know, where the sun's at and how the sun's hitting him, he could be even stronger.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it, because he's a super overly powered character, but he has that the handicap with when, like, let's say if it's like 7 o'clock and the sun's starting to set, he's not as strong as, let's say, like 2 p.m., you know, midday, perfect time where the sun's just beating down on him.
Yeah, you're sending him to fight people at noon, and then you're protecting him when the sun sets.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like, you know, because they have like for instance, like Goku, he's always like overly over the top OP, and it's just like, okay, cool. So they have to send overly, you know, over the top OP characters to go fight him, and so it's kind of like evened out, but he still comes out on top. At least this way, there's kind of like there's a balance in it, and I like that about his character. So he's OP, but at the same time, he's also the weakest link. You know, so I don't know. I like that dynamic.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna definitely continue watching it like after this to see where it goes. You know what I'm saying, further. But the story's all over the place. But if you're able to, especially in the third season, they get way better at storytelling, especially when they're doing the backstories. Although I'm not a fan of what they do with Diane at all, because they keep leaping her forward and then resetting her. Like every season, they just reset her back to 0, and then she has to build up again, and that is getting on my nerves. But we'll see what happens. The Elizabeth being a reincarnation of Liz, that's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler, guys. You will.
It's blatantly obvious.
It's blatantly obvious from like maybe the 5th or 6th episode. It's blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
And everything else that goes on, man, you'll like it. If you're into stuff like, I don't want to say Dragon Ball. If you're into like medieval, like this lore wise and story wise medieval, but at the same time you love those fighting, you know, like magic power type battles, you're gonna like this show. And them 100%. Them even bringing in Arthur Pendragon and Camelot and stuff like that.
Yes,
was so
dude.
Dope, dude.
You know, I'm a big history buff. You know, so like stuff like that geeks me the hell out. I love when, you know, anime does that. Like, that's so dope.
Yeah. You know who else love when anime does things? Marvel actors. You like that segue?
Yeah, I do.
You like that
I like
segue?
this.
Check this out, man. My man, one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, my man, Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan, got a Jujutsu Kaisen shout out a while ago, and he just found out about it. Sebastian Stan has been in the headlines plenty this year, but not every story has been about Marvel Cinematic Universe. The star may be known best for playing Bucky Barnes on screen, but his popularity knows no bounds. He is like Tom Holland levels of popular.
Yeah, like all over.
That is why Stan trended in a light of a cameo in Jujutsu Kaisen, and the actor just saw the little blip for itself. The whole thing went down on the program Saturday. Stay In with Sebastian Stan. The actor took part in an online event to talk acting, The Winter Soldier, and his upcoming gig as Tommy Lee. It was there the host showed Stan the clip of Jujutsu Kaisen, and he seemed floored by the whole deal. All he could say was, I want to find out more about the show. Stan said while looking godsmacked by the reference, I'm very humbled about it. You guys can check the Instagram to see the clip. Clearly, Stan had no idea that he was ever brought up in Jujutsu Kaisen, but fans of the anime aren't surprised at all. The show had made reference some time ago, and Stan is not the only Hollywood star to get a shout out. Jennifer Lawrence was also mentioned at one point, as Yuji shared his type of woman, and the Oscar winner fit that role. Of course, we cannot blame Stan for being out of the loop. The actor has been busy thanks to his big debut in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The Disney Plus series was a hit from episode 1, and Stan did ample press for the show amidst the pandemic. Now, the actor is set to spotlight for his work in a movie documenting Pamela Anderson's torrid romance with Lee of Motley Crue. The project will explore the events surrounding the couple's exploited sex tape, and Stan was praised alongside co-star Lily James for the physical transformations during production. What do you think, boy, of that blip in Jujutsu Kaisen? Which other A-lister star with an anime mentioned next? Let's share our thoughts right here, right now. So what do you think about that, man? What do you think about them? I remember the Jennifer Lawrence reference, and to me that was something normal because Jennifer Lawrence is a big cultural icon when it comes to worldwide success, right? Yeah, especially with the Hunger Games, X-Men, everything she's been in. She's preferenced to being clatantly dressed in some roles and different things like that. So yeah, she has the prototypical body type of which most anime characters end up looking like. What did you think about them actually mentioning Sebastian Stan? Do you think this has something with him being, you know what I'm saying, the Winter Soldier and how big of a franchise, you know what I'm saying, Captain America and the Avengers and stuff is?
Honestly, it is really possible for that, just especially with how popular just the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, particularly in Asia. Like, I know my family in the Philippines, like, they talk about all the movies all the time. Like, that's like whenever a movie drops in the theaters, they go check it out. Like, it's big over there. So for him to be shouted out, like, I could definitely see why, you know, with all the popularity, you know, with what was it, Endgame that came out, Infinity War, you know, all that. And then, like you said, you know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he's got all this big stuff going for him in the Marvel universe. They were going to pick somebody, you know, because granted, they, you know, I shouldn't say not everybody knows Sebastian Stan, but not everybody might recognize that name, you know, because it's, people will recognize the face, like, hey, that's Bucky, that's the Winter Soldier, you know, but not, you know, some people, they have a difficult time with recognizing names, you know, so unless if it's like one of those, everybody recognizes Jackie Chan, you know, like that's just like that kind of name, you know, he's been around for years and stuff like that. So, but I wouldn't say he's up and coming because, you know, he's really successful in a lot of his other works, but it's Marvel, big hits that just came out recently. It makes sense. And I love it because, you know, just like that whole Deadpool and My Hero crossover, there's been a lot of Marvel crossovers into the anime universe and a lot of references in between, you know, so I think it's cool that there's one more reference to pull into it.
Yeah. They picked the perfect time to start mowing the grass outside my window. Like, I don't know where that came from, but hopefully my mic is good enough to muffle a lot of that sound out. Oh man. I totally agree with you. I feel like Sebastian Stan is literally one of the next big things. That Falcon and the Winter Soldier was huge. His character and the way he goes on press runs and his connection with the fan base and everything he does, especially what it seems like, you know, the buddy relationship with him and Tom Holland, him and Anthony Mackie. Those three really seem to make a connection with fans. On a more personal level than a lot of the other actors do. They don't feel like they're not reachable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not saying like that in a bad way, like, oh, I could reach out and touch him and catch him if I wanted to. Nah, but like they just seem like they
don't feel like they're a different like category, like they're a different society.
They kind of feel even his reaction to this, him being astounded, you know what I'm saying, about being mentioned in something that he knew nothing about, and it's crazy. I wonder if he heard of Jujutsu Kaisen before. I wish they would have asked him, like, because I watched the video. I wish they asked him a couple of more questions about it, because I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen is a worldwide phenomenon with everything
easily.
And then with everything that's going on with Demon Slayer and how big anime is, they could have made that a way bigger deal than what they made it, because it actually is, you know, to be recognized like that in something like this. Because it's just as big as a global phenomenon as Marvel is. Right. So, yeah, I'd be interested to see how that goes, you know. So big shout out to Sebastian Stan. I look forward to seeing all the work he's getting ready to do. I look forward to that Captain America 4. And I look forward to seeing this movie he's going to be in, playing Tommy Lee. Now, speaking about worldwide phenomenons when it comes to anime and manga, we got the manga sales numbers for a couple of big manga in the thing, and I think something that will make you very, very happy, my man. Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen dominate Oricon's sales rankings for the first half of 2021.
As expected.
It was really expected. But if you've been paying attention, the world of Japanese pop culture over the past year, then it should come to no surprise that Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen absolutely dominate Oricon sales records for the first half of 2021. Even so, the scale of domination is still surprising. Because if you take a look, Demon Slayer, 26 million in estimated sales. Jujutsu Kaisen, a little bit under 3 million right behind them. You know what I'm saying, at 23.7. But look what's in that third spot. Outselling Attack on Titan, outselling My Hero Academia, outselling One Piece is something that is near and dear to your heart. Tokyo Revengers with 5 million in sales. Now I understand what 5 million in sales may mean to a lot of people. It's dwarfed in the comparison of what Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer do. Like they're in the upper echelon. That's like the LA Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, and then you have the Utah Jazz. But the Utah Jazz is still in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
and it's even better because they beat what was it, One Piece and
Attack on Titan,
and Attack, like they're beating big titles, you know, in sales right now. Like that is huge.
But let's check out some more of the article right quick. First of all, let's take a look at Oricon manga sales ranked in the first half of 2021. We're broken down by series. Both Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen are head and shoulders above the rest. The former managed to sell 26 million copies, while the latter shifted to 23 million. Their closest competitor, Tokyo Revengers, languishes far behind at 5 million. Rather than impressively, Chainsaw Man managed to grab the 5th spot place with 4 million. Quite an achievement considering that it does not yet have an anime adaptation. If we look at the breakdown, this is the list of cover sales of physical copies surveyed from November 23rd, 2020 to May 23rd, 2021, man. Look at this. It's all Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Like it's not even a close run with the rest of the crew. But it makes sense though, because you know, one, Jujutsu Kaisen is Jujutsu Kaisen. They just ended up with the season, and they got the prequel movie coming out, and then Demon Slayer they just wrapped up with Mugen Train too, so the hype, and the hype train for both of those shows, it is non-stop, no stops whatsoever for both of them. So it makes sense that those two were going to dominate these sales.
No, that totally makes sense, man. It just shows you. It's just like I just said. The Jujutsu Kaisen shout out for Sebastian Stan is bigger news than what they actually know, and it makes me wonder if, and it doesn't make me wonder if, because I don't think they'll do it, but they should. This is when Disney should leverage that, as little as that might have been, leverage that to get themselves into some type of anime. There has been really good Avengers anime done. The little battle thing they had with the Avengers. I can't remember what it was called, but
there's a lot of them too.
Yeah, the little where they had the disc and the little characters power up. They turned it. It was really, really good. This is something where they could, even if they license that and re-air it on Disney Plus, or if they, you know what I'm saying, they grab something, this is something that they could really take advantage of and really, really try to do. It'll be really dope. But other than that, we have a little bit more we could talk about when it comes to that. It says a similar story plays out when breaking down the manga list by individual volume. The final volume, Demon Slayer, sits pretty at the top with close to 5 million copies sold, while the Rigaku and Ginyu Center spinoff ended up in second with 2.2 million. A clean sweep of Jujutsu Kaisen volumes for number 3 all the way down to number 20 was then broken up by One Piece volume 98 and the second Demon Slayer fan book in 5th and 7th place respectively. Man, it is crazy what Jujutsu Kaisen has done this year. Finally, let's look at Oregon's light novel sale rankings for the first half of 2021. You would expect a series that started as a manga to do well in that sector, but Demon Slayer also crushed it in literally every department. It came out on top when broken down by series, even outselling The Time I Got Reincarnated into a Slime.
Damn.
All animes that we literally talk about all the time. Curiously, Jujutsu Kaisen,
we got to get the good stuff.
Yeah. Curiously, Jujutsu Kaisen managed to sell more copies of its 2 light novels when broken down in individual volume by the sheer number of Demon Slayer books meant that it took the crown overall. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
It's beautiful, dude. Absolutely.
To say that Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen been successful seems obvious enough when you consider just how popular they are. But Oricon Sales rankings for the first half of 2021 make it clear in terms of raw numbers. Moreover, Jujutsu Kaisen's sales performance on its own would have been record-breaking, but it had the misfortune of coming after one of the most successful series of all time. The breaks. I mean, those are the breaks. Those are the breaks. There is nothing you can absolutely ever do about how successful Demon Slayer has been. It is just nuts. But man, what does a new manga, especially a manga that doesn't have, if they don't have an anime adaptation? Well, one, to be successful as Demon Slayer, I think you have to have an anime adaptation.
Yeah, you need that promotion.
But is there something out there that could take these two giants down? Is there something coming that could affect that could literally take these two off? That we're looking at Zeus and Odin right now. You know what I'm saying? Like standing on top of Mount Olympus. I mean, what are you supposed to do to take down these two titans? It doesn't have to be there's only possibly one I could think of that could possibly do it.
Which one are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of Bleach.
Bleach, really?
I'm thinking of Bleach.
You know, I see why you go with that one, and that's a double-edged sword, my guy. That's the problem with that one. That's a double-edged sword because it could go far, but it can go so low too if they do it wrong.
It could be one of the things where it sells a lot and then everybody is disappointed. Like it could be one of the things where it could be like it could be a success and a failure at the same time. Like Cyberpunk.
You know, especially because like why you gotta bring up Cyberpunk, man? But no, you are definitely right on that. But you know, with the 1,000-Year Blood War arc being animated on Netflix, on Netflix, I believe. Sales obviously for Bleach are gonna go through the roof, especially now. I feel because back then, you know, Bleach was one of the big three, but Bleach didn't do so hot in comparison to the other two, so that's why Bleach kind of fell off.
Bleach had the better story though.
Right, to a lot of people, myself included. I really loved the whole story dynamic of Bleach. So I feel like, but back then it wasn't, I wouldn't say it wasn't as accessible, but it wasn't as easy to, it wasn't as accessible. That's the best way, But now a lot of more people are buying manga, you know, just to put it on the shelf. You know, a lot of people are, you know, just buying it as collectible. A lot of people are buying it to read it. Some people even buy multiple copies now. You know, I know my one buddy, he buys one copy to put on the shelf, one copy for him to read, you know. So there are people, and I feel like now, as long as Bleach does it right, they could go far with it. They could crush sales easily, especially because there is still a dedicated fan base. Like I know there's a YouTuber, I believe Retro Rhino. He put together a team, and they're actually animating a fan-made animation series of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. So there is a dedicated, you know, like fan base to this. So if they all come up and they all put in, you know, that $12 or that $15 that, you know, depending on the manga, it can go big. Honestly, for me, I Bleach, like I said, it's a double-edged sword for that one. I don't know. I was thinking there is one that I got put onto the manga by the creator of Attack on Titan. He shouted it out a little while ago in an interview as one of the mangas that everybody should check out. And with how big of a fan base Attack on Titan has, that hopefully it gets more hype to it. It's a manga called Blue Lock. And it's even weirder that I bring this up because I don't know, because I'm not as I haven't read it too many chapters. I'm only, I think, like 4 or 5 chapters in. But this is going to be an underdog story if it does manage to do it. It is a soccer anime, soccer manga. But with how the story is and how everything is in the story, it can do really well. And with that backing of Attack on Titan's creator, Isayama, and if they get the right studio to animate it, this manga, I feel, could crush both Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer.
So what would be the right studio to animate it?
If it was going to be any studio, I don't know the studio off the top of my head, but whatever studio did either, what was it? Haikyuu or Kuroko no Basket. Both of those are really successful sports animes. Both of them have really amazing animation to it. And both of them have really big fans. Haikyuu alone, because Haikyuu is actually still an ongoing anime series. I think they've been confirmed for another anime season sometime this year or next. So, you know, having those studios to animate this soccer anime, or hell, even just because even how the manga's drawn, it honestly, it gives me like Mob Psycho 100 like art style. Okay. So if the studio that did Mob Psycho 100 does it, I think it'd be good. I think it'd be done deal.
Mob Psycho 100 vibes. I can get that. I don't know if a sports anime could, especially a soccer anime, could probably be big enough to do that.
I was thinking, because in Europe, soccer's huge. Here, even in the States, it's huge. It may not be as big as basketball, or it may not. But look at it's Haikyuu. It's a volleyball anime, and they hit the top sale. You saw it on that list from the half manga sales. That's volleyball. Think of something like if they do a successful soccer, because there isn't really that big soccer anime out there. There's Days from back in the day. It got I think 2 seasons, and that's it. And it wasn't bad. It was all right. There's some offshoots, like 12, like half season animes out there that kind of do more of a comedy soccer, but there's not that that FIFA. That's the soccer anime kind of, anime out there. And I feel like this one could be it. It's different. It's not just basic, just, hey, it's soccer, it's sport. Like Haikyuu, even though it's volleyball, they make it intense, they make it dramatic, they make it serious. They put in the comedy, they make you feel. This Blue Lock can do it, bro.
I'm not gonna argue with you. I still think it's Bleach, but
I mean, definitely with how there's already the fan base for it. Like I said, Blue Lock, that's an underdog story. Bleach has the best potential for it, for sure, 100%. But as long as everything pans out the way I hope that it pans out, Blue Lock's gonna be big, dude.
Well, what I'm saying, if it was me, it'd be Ruby. But
I'm sorry. People are gonna bash me for this, but Ruby just hasn't been the same without Monty Ohm. R.I.P. my dude. Rest his soul. How
do I take you off of here? What do I? Do I just delete this?
No. Ruby's good in its own right, yeah, but the first 2 seasons.
Just because of that, we just gotta go back to the main screen. Like they can't even see you anymore in real life.
Oh no,
we just have to go back here. That was wrong. That was really, really wrong. No, no.
But I mean, it's true. It's true. I can't. I'm sorry, but I love Ruby. Don't get me wrong. But
that was my first manga that was the first manga that was everything else I always read online. That was the first. I still have it. That was the first manga.
It was, it was. I remember that. That and what was it? Black Torch.
Black Torch, and you purchased both of those for me, and I'm still to this day waiting for a Black Torch anime because that book was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So,
well, it'll get it. It'll get it one day, dude. Just gotta give it some time. That's all.
But speaking of studios,
okay.
I know my transitions are horrible. We'll get.
I like them.
We'll get there one day. We'll get there one day. Police arrest a woman for arson threat on Wit Studios. Maybe she thought Wit Studios was supposed to have something else would be better than just Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer. Police from Tokyo's Mushanshino police station, they always throw a word in there I'm never going to be able to pronounce, reported on Friday that they arrested a 25-year-old woman from Miyagi Prefecture's Osaki City on the charge of forcible obstruction of business. The suspect allegedly sent an email to Wit Studio, who are the creators of animators of Attack on Titan, Great Pretender, and Vivi Florent Eye Song, threatening to set the anime studio on fire. The police made the arrest on Wednesday, and according to the police report, the woman admitted to the charge. According to police, the woman sent an email on May 7th, writing, "I will set your headquarters on fire in 1 week." The studio strengthened its security, which forced some obstruction of daily business. Police are investigating if the suspect is suffering from any mental illnesses, and also if she has sent harassing emails and faxes to the studio since around 2018. It has almost been 2 years since the July 2019 Kyoto animation fire that killed 36 people and injured 33. Since then, there have been incidents of arson threats made to studios and people, some explicitly referencing the Kyoto animation fire. In June 2020, Kyoto police arrested a suspect for threatening to stab and set on fire a number of staff members and voice actors for the Kimono Friends anime. In 2019, just 4 months after Kyoto animation fire, Okayama police arrested a man for posting death threats to anime studio Kanata. In both cases, the suspects referenced the Kyoto animation fire. Yo, this is some deep stuff. For people who don't understand how big that Kyoto animation fire was and the effect it had on the industry, do you have any background or anything that you want to say on that?
It hurts, dude. It is that the Kyo Annie fire incident it shook the anime world, dude. People, great, the lives that were lost, it was so unnecessary, and I feel bad for anybody who had to suffer because of that. And all I know, the people who do stuff like this, they're not anime fans. They have no right to be called anime fans.
Right.
And when this happened, I feel like the real anime community came together. They showed their love. They showed their support. Some people, they even went as far as sent donations or, sent letters to, Kyoto Animation, to basically express, like prayers, thoughts, all that stuff. And it was a tremendously tragic moment in the anime world. That's the best way I can put it. There's no other way that you can even remotely come close to saying anything else for it. It was tragic. It set back a lot of things. Obviously, Kyoto Animation, it's an animation company. They always have projects going on. They had upcoming projects that got delayed, that probably some of them might have even had to be dropped because they had to take some money away from their production, funds and budget to put towards rebuilding, to put to, reparations, for the bill, to rebuild all their supplies, all those computers, all, the paper, the pencils, whatever else, all the, because I don't know all the types of supplies that animation companies use, but they got some high-end tech too. I know they got some that do CGI work and stuff like that. They have the 3D suits or whatever to capture that. Like, they had to replace all of that, and so this was a big hit. And the fact that people are specifically referencing that tragic moment for their monstrosities, it's atrocious. It's sickening, dude. And I can't believe that there's more of this going. You could be upset with how an animation company did an anime. You could be, you could even stop, you can boycott watching any more of their stuff. But those are human beings, dude. Those are people at the end of the day. And you might not have even seen that manga that you were hyped about to see the anime for. You might have never even known about it if it wasn't for companies like these.
Facts.
And this hurts, man.
And to just try to simulate that style of threat, or
right,
do that to other companies. You're not a fan. You're a terrorist.
No. Yeah.
And stuff like that shouldn't fly. And and this woman, I'm pretty sure something has to be wrong with her mentally. She's only 25, man. She could be throwing her whole life away, you know what I'm saying, for making threats and doing stuff like this. So hopefully they're able to find her help and find the source of what this issue was.
And that's even worse. I don't even think that they know the true motive behind her doing this either.
Yeah, I don't think there was. I think she does need help.
Yeah. So I hope they get help. All the people who did this, you know, and like that do these kind of. I hope y'all get help if y'all even watch this. But like y'all need to stop.
Yeah, and this ain't about me receiving anime and stuff like that to watch. This is me being worried about people and their well-being, their families, their health, their children.
Yeah, exactly.
And their source of revenue being taken from them because of somebody else's actions. Right. You affect a lot of people, even with the threats. In the state of what the world is right now, threats like that do a lot of damage, even when there's nothing done. Just the higher security, people not being able to be comfortable at their jobs, then that affects the job that they do. You know what I'm saying? Which can affect their job in the future if they don't do a good job because of the amounts of stress and stuff they're under. Right. So I'm just hoping that everything gets cleared up and everybody can get back to having, you know what I'm saying, just a normal work environment. And
yes, sir.
Prayers up to everybody that's involved, and prayers and hopes that this young lady can get some type of help, you know what I'm saying, in order to figure all this out.
Oh, yeah.
We got one article left, man. I hate this.
Let's move off that. Note.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're going on to a better note because we're going to talk about the abuse a little bit.
Shit.
Yeah. I don't know why I put both of these stories back to back and last, but my bad.
All right. No, it's all right. No, we'll talk about it. You know, because this is the stuff that needs to be heard. This is the stuff that needs.
I got this from I got both of these articles from Anime News Network. This is stuff that people don't talk about when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, the anime and manga. We always get sales, characters, fun stuff. We never talk about the struggles and stuff they actually go through. This article that was done by Kim Morrissey, veteran anime unit director, says he wants to rectify industry abuse. When anime unit and episode director Takai Nishirama recently spoke on his desire to rectify the abuses in the industry. In a tweet posted on Monday, he wrote, "When I told lawyers that my anime work doesn't involve a contract, they were shocked. I want to do my best to help straighten out this industry, which is rife with sexual harassment and power harassment. By doing that, I'd be out of a job. I want to rectify the problems with the help of the Directors Guild of Japan. The Directors Guild of Japan advocates for the rights of film directors in Japan. According to its English website, the guild endeavors to establish and protect freedom of expression, to improve the status of film directors, and to enhance various rights of its members. In particular, the guild calls for reform of copyright law in order to expand the protections rights of its directors. Nishirama is himself a member of the Directors Guild of Japan. He has been working in the anime industry for over 20 years and is primarily active as the episode director for such anime as Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny, Ao Noah Zero, Glass Fleet, School Rumble, and Valrav the Liberator. He worked on storyboards for Glass Feet, Gilgamesh, and Shigeki, Machine Robot Rescue. More recently, he worked on an episode director on episodes 5 and 8 of Combatants Will Be Dispatched. In 2017, he disclosed that his monthly income was 100,000 yen, about $900 at the time. Jesus. For each anime he works on. He said that he wants to concentrate on one anime at a time, but he has to work on 2 television anime to have enough income. That is nuts, considering the work that goes behind storyboards. Having to work on to have to work on 2 anime at a time just to be able to bring in an $1,800 a month living.
Yeah, and that's off of 2 shows. That's not even just one show.
That is ridiculous when you look at what storyboard and writers can make, you know what I'm saying, in the States just off of the same, you know what I'm saying, type of stuff. That is crazy. And the work that goes into doing storyboards and writing in animation is ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
What do you got to say about this? I have nothing positive to say. This makes me look at a lot. This honestly makes me look at a lot of the industry, and not such a good light.
There's nothing positive that you really can say. The only thing positive, I guess, that you can say is that someone is stepping up, and someone, is trying yet again, to put it out there like, hey, this isn't right and we need to fix this. That's about as positive as you can get about everything else. Like, it's insane. I work security, and I almost make more than that. Like, my monthly income, and all I do is the one job. I don't have to work multiple different projects in order to make this kind of income, and that's rough,
Likewise, I like quadruple his income.
Right.
And one 8-hour gig when all I do is stand behind a counter and sell cell phones.
Right. And this dude, he's what I don't. They probably put in 80 to 100 hours in 1 week for stuff like, for projects like because these aren't no simple projects. These aren't no easy, like, they're working 7 days a week for this kind of thing. For as big as the anime industry is, for how much revenue there is in the anime industry, it amazes me. It shocks me that directors, that the animators themselves, they don't make even a fraction of what everybody else. Like, the voice actors make bungos huge money, but all they are is the voice. These people are making that voice pop. They do the artwork, they do the animation, they do everything else for it. Why aren't they getting the same treatment? Why aren't they getting the same love? Because if it wasn't for people like them, there wouldn't be it'd just be just a voice. That's it.
Yeah, and you can understand. I think one thing that stood out is that he's going to stand up and he knows he's going to be out of work, because he knows the minute he starts to voice his opinion about what's going on and try to correct things, he's no longer going to be employed, because he's trying to change the entirety of the system. You know what I'm saying? Take the head off the beast. And that's probably why you haven't had anybody really stand up or champion it like this before then that I've noticed. There's probably plenty of people who have done it, but there's probably a reason why you don't hear those people now.
Right. And this is why a little while back, we were talking about this before, but there was an article that surfaced that a lot of animators from Japan, they migrate to Chinese animation companies because they actually make more money, and that's why Chinese animation is getting, I wouldn't say it's getting better, but it is getting better. So I
mean,
they're getting
high school,
like they're getting quality, animators that are just getting tossed aside in Japan, and another man's trash is another man's treasure, right? And these Chinese animation companies, they realize, hey, we'll treat you better. So if you want, come on. And a lot of them are jumping ship and going over. And I don't blame them one bit.
That is nuts. As we're sitting here talking about people losing their jobs, standing up for what they believe in, this has nothing to do with anime. But alert just went off on my phone, and WWE has come to terms on releases of Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Lana, Murphy, Ruby Riott, and Santana Garrett. Yikes. We'll talk about that offline. Jesus Christ.
Jeez. Okay. See, but it's ridiculous, dude. Like the fact that the ground level people have to go through this kind of crap and basically get the short end of the stick. And then, people are going to be like, oh, well, all they have to do is just climb up the ladder. Bro, they ain't no climbing up the ladder like this.
No, it's not. It's from what I see and from what I've been reading since I really started to get in. Well, since I started this show and actually really started to research everything behind of the shows and stuff that I've been watching, people don't move up that quickly. It's normally groups of teams moving from spot to spot. It's a lot of the same people working on a lot of the animes that you watch. Yeah,
like I remember there was an interview with I forgot, it was an animator, and they had to draw like 100 panels, and they had to match the art style each time. And if you don't do that, that's it. That's and and in the comment sections of the video, people were like, "Oh, well, that's your job. That's what you signed up for." No, I didn't. They didn't sign up to be treated less than human. They didn't. Basically, they treated, they wanted to show their love for anime. They wanted to show their love for these mangas, for these works, and bring them to life. They should be rewarded for that. Especially because of how amazing, like some of the Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, like, look at them. Look at the work that's put in for them shows, dude. And that's just the top two. Like, you can look at any other anime. The amount of work that's put in for it is unbelievable. But yet they're being treated less than minimum wage, dude, here in the States. Like, I can make more money working at McDonald's, at the cash register, than someone who's making an anime that's going to make millions of dollars. That's insane. That's insane.
Right. I get you, man. I get you. I 110. I feel you, my brother. I feel you, man.
Like, I'm sorry. This shit gets me riled up. It gets me emotional, dude. Like, I don't know how else to put it other than it's unbelievable that's the lifestyle right now for animators and for animation companies. Like, wild. Wild.
We need to have more serious topics on this thing, dog, because I feel you. Like, I have nothing. Yeah. I have nothing to add. Like, I feel you, and coming from where I'm coming from, being in America and how America is now, I understand, and you know what I'm saying. I understand how he feels. It's an uphill battle, and anything he needs as far as support, if he needs a hash, like as little as if you need a hashtag, we support you.
100%.
Just put it that way. We support you. Well, that was the last article. That was a doozy to lean off with, man. So
I'm sorry we had to put y'all through those last two ringers, but they were stuff that we had to cover. They were stuff that has to be talked about, and it's some serious stuff.
Definitely. It gets serious. It gets serious in the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we just have to talk. We have to get into what we have to get into. And it's always not just fun and Dragon Ball. Stuff gets serious sometimes.
Yeah. Right. Oh,
definitely. But before we get out of here, we definitely want to let you know how you can support the channel, how you can support the show, and you can help us grow. Yeah, that was kind of corny too. I gotta get better at that. A+ Opinions.
That's the charm.
Yeah. A+ Opinions has a Patreon. That's right. We have a Patreon that you guys can check out. All you have to do is search patreon.com/A+ Opinions. You can join there. We got $1, $5, and $10 tiers. That's right. You get all types of exclusive content. Like audio versions of our podcast, access to our Discord, and exclusive only Patreon access to different reviews and news. $1, $5, $10 tiers. All you got to do, patreon.com/A+ Opinions and join. Help support us so that we can become better and give you better content.
Yes.
Man, I love anime, y'all. Make sure y'all check out Hero Report this Sunday. Make sure y'all check out our news and reviews. They got a bunch of Sentai and Power Ranger stuff that jumps off that you guys check out. So make sure you go to the A Plus More Phenomenal page, share, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell there, and then make sure you do the same thing here at A Plus Hero Report. Like, share, hit that notification bell right here, man. It is amazing doing this show with you, Forsaken. Go ahead and let them know where they can find you at. It's
always a pleasure, brother. And if you want to come follow me, go find me over on Instagram at Forsaken_powers. I'm going to try to post a little more there. I've been kind of more focusing on the other Instagram, which is our Instagram at Anime Assembled. I've been posting more on there than my own, which is kind of funny. But you can find me at both of them. By all means, I just posted a couple days ago of Moriarty the Patriot, like I said earlier in the podcast. So highly recommend, go check that out over at Funimation. It's good. It is good. So, but yeah, go find us over there. You can find my boy Indy over at all of his stuff, and you already know,
at Nerd Mix Alpha everywhere. I keep it simple. Nerd Mix Alpha, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Just check it out. You can also find me right here at A Plus Hero Report. So subscribe, man. Come join the Discord. Come have fun. We got conversations and everything going on over there. I'm probably finna go over here and talk about all these WWE releases right over there in the Discord. So you guys might want to come over there and check that out too, because we finna go ham on that, especially after that great AEW pay-per-view they just had. So come check that out. You can stream all my music. Just search Indy Uchiha. I got some amazing music that you guys might like. There is some anime inspired music on there too, so you guys can check that out. And as always, like we always say, man, keep it A plus. And this has been the Nerd Mix.
Oh yeah.